All right, folks. So here's the actual explanation of of the raid. Now that we got everybody figured out what they're going to be doing. So for those of you who have done the Mark of Death, which is the epic version of the raid, this raid is very, very different. But one similarity is that the water around the outside of the platform is like that death water that ticks for a lot of damage. So if you get tossed out into the water, the Abbot can do telekinesis. Then you want to just swim back to the main platform as fast as possible and jump up. You don't want to jump as you're swimming through the water because, like lava, you'll take damage every time you hit the surface. And so the way this is going to work is when we step forward, the Abbot will come down off his perch. You can see he's on his statue across from us right now. And we're going to beat him down to about 70% health, and then he's going to disappear. And when he disappears and goes back on his perch, 3 D doors will appear on the platform across from us. One will be directly across from us, and one will be off to the left, and one will be off to the right. There are 3 puzzles that need to be completed in order to get a completion for the raid. And it's the same 3 puzzles every raid, but their locations are random. So what we're going to do is we're going to send spotters into the left D door and to the right D door, and they're going to let us know what puzzles are behind those D doors. And then by process of elimination, we'll know what's behind the center D door. And so all the D doors will be called out, and then you'll just go into whatever job you're assigned to. If you're going into ice, Catterley is going to explain to you how that works once you get in there. If you're going into roids, I'm going to explain how that works right now. And then if you're going into goggles, I'll explain how it works once we get in there. But roids starts immediately, so I have to explain it ahead of time, where the other 2 puzzles you can just start whenever you want to. There's no hurry once you get in there. So if you're going into roids, you're going to appear on a circular platform hovering in space, and roids is short for asteroids, by the way, and it's like a 3-dimensional version of the Atari game Asteroids. And you're going to see rocks on 4 stacks of rocks on the platform. You're going to go over to one of those stacks of rocks, and you're going to pick it up, and then you're going to pull it from your inventory into your hotbar, and then click on it on your hotbar to equip them. Make sure that your first bag has some clear inventory spaces right there in the beginning, because you don't have time to search for them. Like that puzzle starts right away, and if you're spending 10 seconds to try to find those rocks in your inventory, that's too long. You need to right away get them on your hotbar and then double click it to equip them. And then you're going to face the center of the platform, and you're going to be about a half a body length in from the edge. You don't want to be all the way at the back edge, because if you get hit by an asteroid, it can knock you back or to the side, and if it knocks you off, then you die, and you can't get back into that puzzle to help out, and then there'll be 3 people left to try to get it done, and it becomes exceedingly difficult the more people that die in roids. So you'll be half a body length in, and you're going to be shooting down the incoming asteroids that are coming in from behind the person across from you. So you're covering their back across from you. So Coin, you're going to be covering Magica's back, and Magica, you're going to be covering Coin's back. So we're going to find out who's sleeping on the couch tonight, basically. You're also going to be panning 90 degrees left and 90 degrees right, and you're going to be looking up and down, but you're not going to turn all the way around. Just left, right, up, and down. And when you're going to target the rocks shooting down the roids, just like you would manually target a throwing weapon. You hold down the right mouse button, and you click the left mouse button to shoot. Do you guys know how that works?
Yeah. I think mouse click mode works too, doesn't it?
It sure does, if you prefer. That's great. When you click to throw a rock, make sure that you just quickly click it, that you don't hold the mouse button down for even a half a second, because if you do that, it's going to throw multiple rocks, and if you continually throw multiple rocks throughout the puzzle, you'll run out of rocks before the puzzle's over, and then that's going to be a problem. Also, healing is you can't heal yourself while you're in there. I believe Cocoon works, but other forms of healing do not work in there. So the more the party gets hit by those asteroids, the more dangerous things become. And that puzzle takes about 2 minutes. You shoot down all the incoming asteroids, and then 2 sarcophagi will appear. You're going to use the rocks to break those. And then a portal will appear. Do not click on that portal. That'll bring you back here, and we do not want to come back in here until all puzzles are done and I have a chance to explain how the second part of the raid works. But do you have any questions about how roids works?
I'll specify cocoon the temporary hit points work. You don't receive any healing points.
Oh, that's good clarification, dude. Coin and Magica, you guys good to go on roids then? Okay.
Yep.
Remember, you do have 2 experienced roiders on your sides to help you out. Be a half a body length in, and you're going to face the center, shooting down the rocks. The asteroid's coming in from the person across from you. And again, make sure that your first bag in your inventory has a few spots clear in that first bag, so that you can find the rocks right away. And emphasize again, Jogwill and Sohu, do not go into goggles until I say it's okay, alright? Which may leave you, outside for, 20, 30 seconds before it's okay for you to go in. But I'll let you know when to come in. Alright, does anybody have any questions before we start? And like I said, once all 3 puzzles are completed, I'm going to explain how the second half of the raid works. Go ahead and get some buffs.
There's no weight on ice when we go in, is there?
Nope. Once you go in, you're going to appear on a platform. There's no hurry to start, and Catterley is going to explain to you how it works.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Alright guys, thanks for your patience while I explain things. Let's do this. The Black Abbot, by the way, has a Mantle of Invulnerability, so he's immune to 4th level and lower spells. And his damage reduction is bludgeoning and magic. Spotters, get ready. Sparrowhite is left, Musk is right. If you're going into roids, you want to make sure that you're fully healed before going into roids, because you cannot heal yourself once you're in. Spotters in place, please. Everybody off mic except for spotters, please. Spotters go. Sparrowhite left, Musk right.
Left is goggles.
Right is ice.
Center roids. Right is ice, left is goggles. Sohu and Yogwill, go ahead and come into goggles.
Okay. Looks like old Precious got stuck outside. So, Chairman, go ahead and come over here and pick up one of these wands.
Oh, Precious, I'm sorry, you'll have to just kind of wait there until we get all the puzzles done.
Alright, I have one.
Okay. The most important thing to remember is come over here to the far right edge of this platform and flip a ranged weapon. And see that sarcophagus all the way down there at the end? Break that.
Yep. Broken.
Okay. That's half of this done. Now, put that ice wand on your hotbar. Now, for me, my preferred method on using this wand is I like to put it on my hotbar. I use a hotkey to use it. And usually it helps me to zoom all the way in into first person or very nearly first person view. Because if you have something in between your reticule and like in between your camera and you when you fire, it won't fire where you aim it. It'll misfire and go up towards the ceiling or something, and you'll waste a charge, and then we'll end up swimming, which is what we don't want. So go ahead and target an area as far out there as you think you can jump to, and see if you can throw that ice right where you're wanting it.
Okay.
Oh, whoop, no, come back here.
Yeah, I don't know where I threw it.
No, come here, you're fine. It's the wand in your hand. You're holding the wand.
Yep.
Like I said, you've got it on your hot bar, right? The wand is on your hot bar?
It is.
Okay, the first time you hit it, you just equipped it. That's why it didn't do anything. Now, the next time you hit that, it's going to actually throw it. So go ahead and zoom your reticule on the water there, and then when we use it, it's going to have a countdown, just long enough for me to use an ice wand and make us another platform to jump to, and then we'll all jump to it, and then yours will come off countdown, and you'll make another platform. And see, we're going to stair step all the way through this puzzle this way.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and try and throw that. Nope, come here. Don't jump till you see something go. Stand right
Try to get it out
beside me.
there.
Yeah, not by throw it, I mean just hit your hotkey, whatever you're using for your hotkey.
Like that?
There you go. Yep, just like that.
Okay.
Come on out here. And don't ever stand in front of the person.
Yeah.
Jump to mine, get in front of me, and then throw another one.
Okay, now we're going to the left around the corner.
Yep, throw it out there a little further. I'm doing it short to make it easy to jump. There you go.
Happened there, sorry.
Now re-equip your ranged weapon and break this one, and we're done with ice.
You guys made it across. Nice work.
Yep. One thing to remember, the other thing to remember in here is gather 3 or 4 of these ice wands. You'll need some to have for when we get to the next raid.
Pick the ice. Go ahead and pick the ice wands up. You get to keep them?
Uh-huh. No, they drop when you leave the raid.
Messing with Sasquatch.
So folks in roids and ice, very good job. It's going to take a good 10 minutes for us to explain goggles and to do it. So you guys got time to go grab a drink or something if you want to. Otherwise you can listen in, but don't click on your portals because that's going to take you back to the Abbot. And by the way, if you die at this point in the raid, it just takes you back to that main platform where we started, and you just have to wait until the people get out of the puzzles and we can raise you once we get back there. So just sit tight And for those of you who are in goggles, Sparrow White, if you could explain how to tell what row you're in just a minute. But the gist of it here is, so who you saw with the goggles, that there is a field of tiles that are phasing in and out. It's 4 rows wide and 12.5 tiles long. And the object here is to lead the other person across safely. So there are 2 different sides, so like I can see the tiles on the side that Sparrow White and Yogwill are on, and I'll lead them across. They can't see anything. All they see is blackness, kind of like what we see on our side, so who. That's what they see, is just nothing. So they have to have absolute trust that we're leading them across safely, and they have to do what we tell them to do. So basically, this puzzle is just an exercise in giving clear instructions and following those instructions perfectly. Ambiguity is very bad in goggles. And Sparrow White, if you could go ahead and show him how to tell what row he's in, that'd be awesome. And so I'm going to show you over here how to tell what row you're in. Because once we lead them across, they're going to lead us across this side. So there are basically 2 parts to this puzzle.
Sure. So, if you'll have a look at the floor, the platform that we're on right now, there are seams in the stone. And each one of these seams more or less represents a row. So there are 4 rows on each side of this larger puzzle. We are staying on row 3. So the rows are delineated from close to the barriers and then back. So the closest row up here is essentially on this crack, and this is row 1. And if we go back a bit, the seam here is row 2, and then further back this is row 3, and then all the way back here there's a notch in the floor, and this is essentially row 4. And the person that is leading you across the puzzle will tell you which row to start in. 3 steps back, yeah, I suppose that's one way to look at it. The best way to identify the row is visually by observing the seams in the stone. But you'll find in more advanced methods of solving this puzzle as we go across that space out there, that you can end up going back and forth between rows. And it is important to know the distance between the rows. And the distance between the rows is not much different than the distance between these seams in the stone. But each seam in the stone is a row, and each notch at the very front and very back of this platform is a row. And row 1 is closest to the force field barriers.
The next thing that you need to know is how to get your location. And the way that you do that is by typing /LOC. /LOC there, yeah, that's exactly what you want. So if you're on your side, Yogwill, you want your H number, which is the last number in your location, to be 180.0. When you type /LOC, and people in the other puzzles can try this too, because you could do this anywhere in the game by just type /LOC, and it tells you, gives you your game coordinates. So like if you ever have a stuck spot and you report it and they want to know your location, that's how you get it. You just type /LOC. The reason why we use it in this puzzle is because the H number, the last number, you can see mine says H2.8. That's the direction you're facing, and that's like a circle, 360 degrees. And the reason why we use it here is because if your H number is 180.0, 180 degrees, that means you're facing perfectly south. And so that if you're strafing, if you're sidestepping, you'll be moving in a perfect line north and south, and you won't drift forward or backwards. That's the idea, is that because you guys can't see the row, I need you to stay centered in it, and if you weren't facing perfectly south and you were strafing along, you could, if you were tilted a little bit, you could eventually drift off the front or back edge of that tile after we got you out into the tiles away. So if you are, if you're centered on your row and you got your location set to 180.0, you won't drift forward or backwards. If you're on the other side of goggles, you want your location set to 0. And if your H number is set to 0, it will not say H0. It said, if you get your H number set to 0, there will not be an H number listed at all. It won't say H0, it just won't be there. So don't worry about getting your location right now. It's the other folks that need it. And then once we get them across, then we'll need to get our loc, and I'll show you at the time. But Sohu, if you want to watch, you can come over to where I am, but it's really important that you don't go, normally it's really important that you don't sort of run out there with me, because the person who's doing the running, in this case Sparrow's going to go first, it's really important that they focus on me and they get confused on who to follow. But for purposes of this training run, I'm going to let you come out there with me. Sparrow White's a very experienced goggler, so he shouldn't have a problem following me, and I'm going to shroud myself in a red fire shield so he can really keep an eye on me. Will that be okay for you, Sparrow?
I should only die 3 or 4 times.
Okay, good enough. Yep, so you can follow along with me. You won't be able to see the tiles because only I have the goggles. There's only one set. But if you just want to kind of see what we're doing, so we're going to be doing what's called the mirror method here. And the way that works is it's basically that Sparrow White's going to be doing a mirror image of what I do. When I move, he moves. When I stop, he stops. And I'll be talking him through it the whole way, and I'm going to tell him what we'll be doing ahead of time. So in this instance, don't move yet there, Sparrow. It's really important to have very clear instructions. Your runner, Sparrow in this case, needs to know exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Ambiguity is very bad. If I'm just sort of looking things over and he thinks he's supposed to be moving with me and he follows me and the timing wasn't right, he could fall to his death. So you always want to emphasize, like, stay right there, don't move. I'm just going to run things out. So I'm going to take him 2 here, and then we're going to pause, and then we're going to go 3 over to this blue. Right there. So with this first movement, what we're going to do is I'm going to be moving him over 2 tiles, and then we're going to pause, and then we're going to move 3 more tiles to a blue tile. And most of these tiles are phasing in and out, but there are some blue tiles, and those tiles don't phase in and out. They're safe spots. The number of blue tiles per raid is random. Sometimes you don't get any. I've seen as many as 12.5 of them, so anything in between. In this instance, we have like 6 or 7 of them, so that's pretty helpful. So Sparrow White, whenever you're ready, we're going to go 2 and 3. So he's going to move when I move and stop when I stop. They just phased out. Get ready. Yogwill, you'll stay there. Go 2. And go 3. You're perfectly centered on a blue tile. Don't move. I'm going to get Yogwill over to you. Alright, Yogwill, so you got your location. It looks like you got strafing keys set up. So we're going to do the same thing. You see me jumping up and down here, right? So you're just going to stay with me at all times. Not right now. I'm out here so you can see me, because if I was lined up with you here, I'm hidden behind the rocks. So I'm stepping out a little bit. So when I say go to, you're just going to follow me over 2 tiles, and I know you're not very experienced at this, so you don't know how big the tiles are, but it's the same like when you're moving in between rows, and you're on row 3 right now. That distance forward to row 2 is the same distance that they are wide. They're perfect squares. So I want you to just, once we start going, I want you to just stay lined up with me. We'll move 2 tiles out, and then we'll pause, and then we'll go 3 more tiles to a safe spot, which is where Sparrow White is standing, okay? So all you got to do is follow me and do exactly what I tell you to do. You ready? Okay, I'm going to let him cycle through. They're phasing out now. Get ready. Just phased out. Get ready. And go over 2. And pause. Now go over 3 to Sparrow White. Perfect. You're on a blue safe spot. Stay right there. And Sohu, I'm going to give you the goggles just so you can see them out there. And after you've had a quick look, pass those back, please. You can see that there's another blue that's just 2 spaces over, so I'm going to very quickly get them over to that. And then figure the rest of the puzzle out after that. Thank you. Alright, don't move, guys. In this case, we're going to do sort of a modified version of the mirror method. It's just going to be a single move. There's not going to be any pausing. So to help take one of the variables out, one of the possible points to make a mistake, instead of doing you following me, I'm just going to tell you to go, and when I tell you to go, you're just going to come straight over to me 2 tiles. And when you get lined up with me, you're going to stop. So Sparrow, let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Okay, I'm going to let it cycle. And we're going to do Sparrow White only. Go to. Great. And Yogwill, let me know when you're ready. When I tell you to go, you're just going to go over 2 to Sparrow White. Okay, just phased out. Get ready. Go to now. Perfect. Don't move. Stay right there, guys. I need to look at the rest of the puzzle. So we go there, and then here, all the way to the end, really. But I'll get him to the blue because that way Yogwill's learning, and that way he has a safe spot to move to. When you get to be a pro at this puzzle, and you're in here with a guild run, and it's just you and your guildies, that's when you cast grease. We do it to each other all the time. Pumpkin heads, grease, everything we can to screw them up. So it'll be 2 to here, and then 1, 2. I'm just going to take them over 3 to a blue. So it's going to be 2, pause, then 3, just like that first movement. Sparrow White, let me know when you're ready. Alright, get ready. Just phased out. Get ready.
Oh, hang on a second.
Okay, let me know when you're ready. So I could be doing 1, 1,
Yeah, all right.
but just so that it's less movements, and there's plenty of time. Just phased out. Get ready. We'll be doing 2. Go 2. Next one just phased out. Get ready. Go 3. and you're on a blue, it's a half tile to the end. Don't go to the end though, because I want you there as a marker for Yogwill. Most people can just, you know, if they're experienced with this, they know to just jump to the end, especially if they have wings or abundant step or something. They can easily clear that. If they don't, it can be a little trickier. Okay, Yogwill, it's just going to be the same as our first move from the start. Remember, it was 2 pause, then 3. Got it? Okay. I'm going to let him cycle through. So we're waiting for that one to phase back in. Just phased out, get ready. Go 2. And pause, get ready, go 3. Perfect, just a half tile to the end. You can both face the end, and I'm going to tell you when to go. We'll do Sparrowwhite first, get ready, go to the end, and we'll do Yogwill next. I'm going to let it cycle through. There's a sarcophagus over there that needs to be broken. There's one on the other side too. Yogwill, go to the end. Good job, dude. You did a great job following instructions. So I'm going to give you these goggles back just so you can sort of see what I did, and I don't need them back now, so feel free to look through them as long as you want. So we're between sides and goggles, and if anybody that's not doing goggles is listening in and curious about what's happening, feel free to ask questions now. So like I said, Sohu right up here is row 1. Right kind of like in front of this pillar here. Right before that notch that's cut out, and don't go any further forward, you'd fall right over the edge. And then here, this seam between tiles, this is row 2, and then this next seam is row 3, and then row 4 is basically the beginning of this V-shaped notch that's cut out. And these aren't perfectly centered, but they're good, you know, convenient markers to use. Row 4. So right now Bazinga's up there with a different set of goggles. He's up, if you look up, he's up there on the 2nd floor. And there was a different set of goggles up there that he's going to equip, and he can see our side, and now he's going to lead us across. And we want to get our location set to 0. It's really 7 to a blue?
You know it.
That sounds like some kind of gag I'd play on Soulmind.
Nah, this isn't a gag I'm playing on Soulmind. But no, it is really, it's actually 6 to a blue, but there are 2 blues down there. And remarkably, you can run this whole 5 series with seconds to spare. We knew.
Okay, cool. As you see, I got my loc now. There's no H number there. There's 1.4, 1.4, and now it's not there anymore. Sometimes getting it perfect can be challenging, and so if if you're really struggling getting it perfect, if you got it within 1 or 2 degrees, it should be good enough.
Basically on the 7. When I say go, don't move yet, but when I say go, just go and don't go past me.
When you say go, I'm going all the way to you.
Alright, man. Alright, we're going to let them phase out.
You can highlight their dot so that you don't get confused on who to follow.
Get ready. Come to me.
And jumping eliminates you being on the tiles. So if you're in the air, you can't fall. You know, so it's a little harder to get the hang of doing that, but it's better because if there's any close calls, you'll be in the air.
7 to Ginger. They're phasing out. Get ready. Go. All right, good. Both of you come a little bit over towards the end. Just a little bit. A little bit more. All right, you're good. You're center. Stay there. Don't move. It is 3 to a blue. 3 to a blue.
All right, I'm ready.
They're phasing out. Get ready. Go. All right, you're on the blue.
So normally if I was just doing this with, you know, one of my guild runs, I could just snow slide right to the end there. I can easily clear that gap with snow slide.
Get ready. Go. All right, you're good. Both stay there. You were 2.5 from the end. All right, you can go ahead and face the end. When I say go, you just
Get
run
the
to
same
end.
markers here. There's row 2, row 3.
Get ready. Go.
Snow slide all the way to the end. Good job,
That'll
buddy.
work too. All right, Soho.
Break this sarcophagus.
Just run to the end when I say. Get ready. Go.
Great job.
Good enough.
Very nice. Alright folks, we have all the puzzles completed the first time through. So now I have to explain how the second part of the raid works. And it's no big deal. It's more or less just kind of a beatdown. We're going to beat the Abbot down to 0 and we win. But the Abbot has some tricks now. I want to make sure that everybody who's new is back though. So, O Precious and Caramon, Magica, and Coin. Are you guys all here? Okay, great. So the Abbot has 4 tricks that he does. And the first one is he can disjunct your gear. So making some of your gear non-functional for temporarily for for a few minutes. No big deal. If he gets your striding item or jumping item, sometimes that can be a little bit problematic. But usually no big deal. And the second thing he does is he summons invisible creatures. And every time he does one of his special moves, he says something over his head. So when he summons invisible creatures, he says, "What you can't see." And the DM says, "An ominous breeze, something, something, something." And they're just, I think, weeps. And we can't see them. Incidentally, if you were wearing the goggles from the goggles puzzle, you can see them, but that would be the only thing you could see. So if you have the goggles on still, Sohu, you want to take them off now. We're going to put up like firewalls, blade barriers, AoEs, tear them right up, no big deal. The third thing that he does is he can encase you in a giant boulder, and In order to get somebody out of that, you use the rocks from the Asteroid puzzle to break them free. You have to throw the rocks at the boulders, and it breaks them right out. And the fourth thing that happens, and this is crucial right here, this is where a lot of pugs are going to wipe, or a lot of disorganized parties are going to wipe, is that he does the Inferno. And if you've done the Epic Mark of Death, it's very similar, but here there are no safe spots on the platform. When he does his Inferno, he says, I call on the Inferno, and he's shrouded in flames, and a few seconds later the entire platform will be like a giant firewall. When he says Inferno, we will call Inferno, and everybody will run to the north. And we're going to use one of the ice ball wands from the ice puzzle to throw down a little ice ball island out in the water. And we'll jump to that, and that'll be a safe spot. And that little ice ball island lasts for about 10 seconds. And that'll give you an idea how long we're going to be out there. And then we'll jump back up on the platform. The Inferno will still be there. You know, we'll be sort of jumping into the tail end of it. That won't hurt us. But if you're in the Inferno when it starts, that is going to hurt you. And Inferno acts as a curse, just like Mark of Death. And a lot of people don't realize this. It doesn't show up on your hotbar as a curse. But if you get hit by the Inferno, you will continue to take hit point and spell point damage, ticking every couple of seconds until all your hit points and spell points are gone. You have to drink a curse pot if you get hit by the Inferno. Again, that's both Mark of Death and Heroic Abbot. Also, you can use spell absorption items like your Pale Lavender Ioun Stone, or a Jeweled Cloak, or a Mantle of the World Shaper, and that can absorb the Inferno. So if you're ever in an emergency situation where the Ice Ball Wand didn't go off, or people weren't prepared or something, you can always put on your spell absorption item, and that will let you survive through the Inferno, and you will not get cursed if you have your spell absorption item on. It will use up like all 5 charges though, of like a Mantle, for example. So if there's an Inferno, after that we're going to jump back off the platform onto the main platform. We're going to continue beating down the Abbot. Once the Abbot's beat down to 0, we win. And the final thing here is that we're not all just going to jump in at once. Because if we did that, if we all just went in right now, what could happen is the Abbot could encase all of us as we went in, and then we die and wipe after all of this hard work. Or it could be an Inferno. The second we went in there, and there wouldn't be time to get an island out, and then we wipe. So what we're going to do is we're going to send a spotter in, and they're going to wait for the Abbot to do one of his special moves. And the Abbot can only do his special moves like once every 15 seconds or so. So they're going to wait for Abbot to do one of his special moves, and then they'll know that there'll be like a 15-second buffer. It'll be safe for us to come in. Unless the Abbot does an Inferno when the spotter's in there, then the spotter is going to wait until the Inferno subsides before telling us to come in. So I'm going to go ahead and be the spotter just for purposes of the video. And let's see. Catterley, I want you to be ready with a wand, okay?
Yep.
You'll pass me a wand in the north right away, but you know, if I get encased or something, you need to be ready with it, okay?
Yep.
Cool, thanks. Alright, folks, I'm going to go ahead and step in and spot. Sit tight for a moment. I will let everybody know when it's time to come in. I'm going to put spell absorption on. Encased. Everybody in. He missed me though. Everybody in. I'm in the north for a wand. The dead people can be raised now. Want to drag that into your hotbar? Thank you, I have the wand.
Inferno.
Everybody run to the north.
Inferno.
Jump onto the little ice ball island. If you get hit by the Inferno, make sure you drink a curse pot. If you fall into the water and die, you just have to swim up. Everybody back up. And start beating on the Abbot again. So if they were in the water, that their soul stone drops to the bottom. They have to swim up, and it can be a little tricky timing the raise because you can't reach them when they're at the bottom. As they're swimming up, you have to hit them, and then they take it. I think they can take it in the water. I'm not sure if that has been changed, but it used to be that if you took the raise in the water, you wouldn't take damage until you got out of the water and then re-entered it.
Cataline case
Looks
out.
like Sohu's in the water on the other side. So Catterley, could you try to raise him? I don't want to leave my post.
Yeah. You mean old Precious?
Oh, Precious, yep. Inferno, everybody run to the north.
Sure.
Make sure you don't have the Abbot or something else targeted when you throw that, otherwise the ice ball can fly off into the ceiling. When the party's on this ice ball platform, it's a good time to throw some quick buffs. Everybody back up. Remember, drink a curse pot if you got hit by the Inferno.
You gotta swim up here.
So who you're just gonna swim up and take the raise and jump out. Perfect. So for a druid, Word of Balance works okay, and then
In case.
I think Sunburst to hit him. Yep. And then Sunbeam works pretty well.
Thank you.
If you're an arcane, he's immune to cold. Also, again, he's got the Mantle of Invulnerability, so you got to do. Remember, he's got a Mantle of Invulnerability, so you want to do 5th level and higher spells. I see some people shooting like magic missiles and frost lances. That's not going to hurt him. Plus, he's immune to cold. He's also immune to electric. You can also do the fire seeds, but my saves aren't very good. So it's hitting them for like mid 350s, mid 300s. Less than impressive. The Druid Firewall will hit him because the Druid Firewall is a 5th level spell as opposed to Arcane's a 4th level, so he'd be immune to that. Great job, folks. Awesome run. You guys did a great job on the puzzles. We still got to get Sohu up. Oh, okay, everybody's up. Cool. Let's see. Let's let Sohu do the honors on the chest. He was the first one that joined that had never done it before. Good luck on your loots, folks. If anybody has any questions about the raid, I'm happy to answer them. And I will be posting the video of the event in the next day or two. And by the way, the seal of the Black Abbot you use to upgrade this stuff, the Abbot gear can be upgraded at the Fountain of Necrotic Might, which there's 2 of them right outside here. And you can get the seals here from in the raid, or you can also get a seal by turning in a completed Shield of Legend or Tome of Legend. Purging the Pantheon, Wretched Twilight, +2 Tome. Anything else drop?